Okay, so this is part two, what I call part two of present perfect, which is the how long. Okay, so last week we talked about indefinite past, meaning sometime in the past, but just sometime in your life. The specific time is not important. Okay, this one's a little different. And this is the reason we call it present perfect and we don't use past. Only past or only present, that's different. Okay, so let me show you how this works. So you remember the form, hopefully. It's have or has, and then your past participle. Okay. So remember, for regular verbs, it looks just like the past. It's ed. But for irregular verbs, you have those strange participles that don't really follow any rule, like eaten or driven. Okay. So a lot of present perfect is really learning those past participles. Because again, it's another form of the verb that you have to learn. All right, so here's where we get into the meaning. So here we're talking about how long. How long meaning time. Not like how long is your hair. Okay. How long meaning time. Okay. So for this is something that started in the past and it continues in the present. So it started before now in the past and it's continuing. It's not finished. Okay. Something that's not finished and continuing. So let me show you the first example. The examples. Okay. So for example, I have been a teacher for 31 years. So I started 31 years ago and I continue to be a teacher. Okay. When we say have been, it means it's not finished. It's still true now in the present. A lot different than if I said I was a teacher. When an English speaker hears I was a teacher, that means not now. It's past, it's finished, it's not true now. So this is not true for me, right? Because I am a teacher right now, today. So that's why we use the present perfect. Second example, Mary has, remember has for he or she, has worked at Costco for 5 months. Okay. So when you see this has worked, does she work at Costco now?
No.
Has worked, not worked. This is where it gets confusing because people look at this ed and they go, oh, it's finished. Whenever you add that have or has with the participle, this means Mary started at Costco in February and still works there. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
teacher.
a couple minutes, I'm going to show you the difference on finished or not finished. But yeah, as soon as you add this has worked, it's continuing with the time. You notice we put how long. Goes back to our how long example. So, last example. Richard has had, I know that looks weird, the verb have 2 times, but we're following the rule. Have or has plus the participle. Just happens to be that the verb here is have also. Okay. So Richard has had a fever for 3 days. Does he have a fever now?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. He got a fever 3 days ago, and he continues to have a fever. Again, because you have has had. It's different than had. Okay. Let me switch over to my notes. Okay, and let me show you the difference. Um, okay. Let's start with Richard. Okay, this is where you really have to watch those verbs. So look at the difference here.
Has.
Richard had a fever for 3 days. It's finished. That's why we're using only past tense. It's done, finished. He had a fever for 3 days, now it's over. Okay. Now, when I say has had a fever, when you add that has had for 3 days, it's continuing. 3 days ago is when it started, and it's not finished.
Mm. If you, teacher, if you have a has or have,
You're
is
going to have the form. The form is going to be, hold on, let me, oops, have or has plus the past participle.
mhm.
In this case, the verb is, the participle is had. So
Yes.
it looks a little weird because you have like the same form, like 2 times,
Mhm.
but it just happens to be the verb is have. Let me give you another one. Let me use one of you guys. Okay. What I pick on? We'll pick on Karen today. All right, take a look at this. So if I say Karen was a student for 3 months, well, what is was?
Past simple.
She
It's
was
exactly, it's
maybe one
simple
years
past.
ago.
It's
Has,
simple past, so
has,
it's finished.
yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So then I'd have to say goodbye, Karen. She's not here anymore. Right? So this is finished. She was a student for 3 months and then she stopped. Okay. But if I say Karen has been a student,
She was and now she students. It's a long time, yeah?
past and present.
Yes.
So she started 3 months ago and she's continuing. It's not finished.
Uh-huh.
So past 3 months and present today. So that's the difference between if something is finished or not. Here's your simple past. Simple past means it's over, it's finished. Present perfect, if you use how long with present perfect, it means that's when it started and it's continuing. It's not finished yet. So, big difference in the meaning, right? If you tell somebody, if I say, just like my example, if I say I was a teacher, well, that means I'm not a teacher now. And that's not true. I am a teacher now, right? Hi, Kong.
Hi, teacher.
Okay. So, this is the big difference. This is how you know if somebody's talking about the past or they're talking about something that's not finished yet, that's continuing. All right. Everybody okay? Everybody still breathing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah.
It's a little weird to get used to. Okay. You do have this form, most of you, in your languages, so. Okay. So back to our examples here. Okay. So Mary has worked at Costco. She still works there. If I took out this and I just, excuse me. If I took this out and I just said worked, that would be finished. But that's not true. She still works there. So that's why I have to use has worked. It's continuing. All right, let's try a few of these. Okay. All right, so we're going to try, I'm going to show you how to change from just a simple present to a past and present, which is present perfect. Okay. The key is the verb. Find the verb, and you will be able to do this as long as you can find the verb. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use this as our example, first example. So they live in Los Angeles, and I gave you a time, 2 years. Okay. First thing you do is look at the verb. What's the verb?
Present.
Sorry? So what's the verb? Live.
Present.
Live.
They live.
Live.
They
Live? Okay.
Live.
maybe
Um,
they was living in Los Angeles.
No.
They
Giselle, don't
live.
jump. What are you doing was
They
living? That
have-
has nothing to do with what we're doing. Okay.
Simple present.
Okay. So there's your live.
Sorry,
Okay.
we need to verb.
Live.
Okay. So the verb is live. So whatever the verb is, that's what's going to become your past participle. Because remember your rule, have or has, and the past
They
participle.
have lived.
Okay.
Hmm?
Lived.
Past would
Yes, she
they
had.
Had.
they
Had.
has
No,
they
they
has
have or
lived.
has.
Have.
Had.
Well,
Had.
Have for
Have.
they, right?
Had.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
yes, no,
They
please.
had lived.
No.
no, they don't
Mhm.
change it.
So use your rule. Use your rule. Have or has plus past participle. So what is going to be our final sentence if I want to say 2 years?
They had
They
lived. Have. Lived. They
have
have lived.
Live
lived
Lived.
in
In
Los
Los
Angeles.
Angeles for 2 years.
Yeah.
for 2
For
years.
2 years. For 2 years.
Okay, let's see if we got it right. There you go. So it's all about the verb. It's all about the verb. Because if you say this, they live in Los Angeles, okay, that only means now. But we want to talk about how long in the past and now. We want to combine those, past and present. Okay. So let me ask my pivotal question here. So it says they have lived in Los Angeles for 2 years. Do they live in Los Angeles now?
How long
Yes.
have they?
Do they live in Los Angeles now in the present?
Mm.
Yes.
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 Yes. Remember, this is present perfect, which is past and present. Okay. The thing confusing about this, I know we start with have you ever, right? But have you ever, we don't do this. We do not say how long or a time because we're saying any time in your life. Okay.
Yavaş. Bu böyle Güla, okay?
But when you add this amount of time
Eleme bile bu bolar.
along with the have plus participle, now you get what we call present perfect, which is past and present. So 2 years ago, so 2024, they moved to Los Angeles and they continue to live there. So 2 things going on here really is how to do the correct grammar with the participle and what does it mean, right? Because meaning is the big deal here. All right, let's try another one. Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
Drive.
Okay, we're going to go step by step. So relax, don't rush it. Okay. So first thing you do is look at the verb.
Drive
What's the
a
verb?
truck for
Drive.
5 years.
Drive.
Drives. Good.
She drives.
Drives.
So again, the verb is what's going to become your past participle,
He has
right? Because the other part's always going to be have or has. And then whatever the verb is, that's going to change to the participle.
drove.
Actually, this one's irregular.
Drop.
Nope.
Drove.
Eleme.
Pass.
He has drove
Past
a truck
participle.
for
Drives.
5 years.
Past.
Participle.
Simple. It's a drives.
No. Anybody remember? We practiced it a little last week, but
Driving.
it's hard to remember. Driven. Driven.
Driven.
Driving. Driving.
Yeah, like I said,
Has.
the participles are going to take time to learn, so don't worry.
Right.
The practice I have for you today, I gave you the participles again. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to try it without, but today, no, I'm giving you the participles. Don't worry. Okay, so the subject is she. So are we going to use have or has?
Has.
She has.
Right.
Driven.
Mhm.
Has.
He
For
has
she, we use has. Good. Okay.
She has driven.
Driven.
She has.
She has driven.
Pronounce it,
truck.
driven.
Right.
She has driven a
She
truck
has
for 5 years.
Participle. She
a truck.
She has driven.
driven.
Your has for she, and then your participle is driven. Mhm.
Driven.
Right.
Driven for 5 years. Driven. Driven.
Driven. Yeah. Pronunciation changes on the participle for this one too. Mhm. Okay. We doing okay?
Yeah.
Little by little. Little
Yeah.
by little. This takes practice because you have to think about how do I change the grammar and then what's the participle. So takes time. Okay. Oops, sorry, forgot to erase. Okay. Okay, one more.
Be.
Is.
Everybody got the
John
verb is?
has.
Okay.
No, John
John
Is.
is a plumber. So again, this becomes the past participle.
Okay. John has been a plumber.
Have
Yeah,
has
somebody's catching on. I heard that.
Yes.
So John, have or has?
has
Has.
He.
John has
Because he
Mhm.
been
I heard Kana and she already got it, but what is our John
has
Has
been
John
has been
has been
a plumber
a plumber
for 7
for
years.
7 years.
7 years. Yeah, you
a
do include
plumber
the
for
time with the
7
how
years.
long. Mhm.
A plumber for 7 years. Has been. Has been.
Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Not yet.
No.
Later, when we start practicing, teacher will have questions. Okay. Yeah. I know it's a lot easier to do it together, right? Than just try to figure it out on your own. Okay. Okay, so there's one more part of this, and I included this in the slideshow here. And this is all, again, this is all on Canvas. So you'll have all these examples on Canvas. But there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that's for and since. The examples I just did, I did for 5 years, for 6 months, for 7 years, because it is easier. Honestly, I think. I think for is easier because you just say for and like how much time and done. Okay. But since is also very common. Okay. Okay. Here's the difference. They are used differently. The two things that we generally use with present perfect to say the time are for and since, but they are different. Okay. With for, which is what you've seen in my examples, is how much time. That can be 5 minutes, 10 years, 3 months, 6 weeks, whatever the time is. Okay. Since we use for the specific time that it started. Remember, started, because present perfect includes, for how long includes the present. So we use since to say when it started and then it's continuing now. So let me show you my own example where I did it 2 ways. So read those. So I have been a teacher for 31 years. So 31 years is how much time? Right. I have been a teacher since 1995. 1995 was when it started. But since you see this have been, not was, have been, it's something that's continuing. Started in 95 and is continuing. It's not finished. So that's the difference between these two. Mhm. When you start practicing this, like I said, I think for is easier if you're just starting to practice this, because you can say for with any amount. You can say for 10 minutes, for 3 seconds, for 20 years, for 6 months. but since is also an option. Okay. Questions on the for and since?
No, teacher.
Got no's. Any yeses?
No, teacher.
Not yet. Maybe later. Okay. I have a night student who always says that later. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to have you do is basically what we did in with this presentation right now is where I give you a sentence in present and then you practice saying it in present perfect. Okay. So somebody lost their internet. Okay. All right. So let's just do a couple together. Mary. There she's back. Mary works as a cashier, let's say. Keep it simple. Okay. So basically your practice, I'm going to give you sentences in the present. Okay. I actually gave you the participles for today's practice. Tomorrow we're going to try it without participles. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So Mary works as a cashier. Okay. I gave you the participle. Right. Now you're going to follow your rule.
Mary has
Work.
And you are going to say, Mary
has
Has worked.
worked.
worked. Go ahead and finish it.
As a cashier.
As a
Cashier.
cashier
Yes, gosh.
For
for
3 months.
3 months.
Pretty much.
whatever time you would like to put. Okay, you can make up the time. Okay, but I do want you to use this time. Because if you don't put a time, if I just do this, that means have you ever. So if I say just Mary has worked as a cashier, that means sometime in her life. That's what we practiced last week. But when you put that time, now you're saying, okay, it started 3 months ago and it's continuing.
Mhm.
So the time is very important.
Mm.
Let me give you one. Let me give you one with a regular verb. Okay. Okay, so here's an irregular verb.
They
Have.
Had
Second.
taken
taken
medication
medication
since 19.
We got a since. Ooh, we got a since. Since
Since
in
2025.
2020.
okay.
Since.
So you can do it either way. Yeah. If you're comfortable with since, go ahead and practice since today. If you want to concentrate on this part, for is a little easier, in my opinion. Maybe not your opinion. Maybe you think, oh, since is easy. Okay. It's okay with me. Okay. But this is the part I really want you to get down is that grammar, and then you need some kind of time. Without a time, it goes back to just have you ever. which is not what we're doing today. We're doing past into present. Something that's continuing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to show you the practice. Oh, let's do one more because this is the one that always confuses people. So let me give you one more here. One of the ways that is very, very usual using present perfect this way is for health. Because when you go to the doctor, first thing they ask, what's the problem? Right? Why are you at the doctor? Second thing they ask is how long?
How
So
long
this is
have you
very, very
ever been a
usual.
doctor?
Yeah, it's like when you took your baby to the doctor and you say, okay, he's got a fever, the second thing they're going to ask is how long? Right? So this is very common. So let's do
Shh.
Chippy.
Yes, but no, please.
My Chippy.
okay, so John has a backache and we want to know how long. So John
John has
has
Been,
been
had.
has had.
The verb is have or has. Yeah, so the participle is had. I know it looks funny. It's like saying the same verb 2 times, so I know it looks funny, but that's what it is. So John has had a backache
Backache
Boo-boo.
for 2 hours.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, let's say 2 weeks. 2 hours, take some aspirin and lie down, but 2 weeks, yeah, you probably need to go to the doctor.
Okay.
Okay. But so this is very typical for things like symptoms. Because, like I said, you go to the doctor's office and they say, why are you here? What's the problem? And then they're going to ask you how long. How long have you had a backache?
Okay.
So, very, very typical for health problems.
Teacher, the pronunciation is a backache.
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 Eight.
Ache. Yeah. Yeah, good question because you're going to see this on some of your practice sentences. Ache. Headache. Stomach ache. Back ache.
Like 8.
It sounds like A with a K. Ache
8.
Back.
with K.
Cake.
Ache.
Like 8.
Yeah,
like
this sounds
cake.
like K.
It's like cake, yeah?
Welcome to English. Yeah, like cake. Without the C in the front. Yeah, ache. Mhm. There you go. Leave it to my students to figure out the food comparison. Because we all like food. I do. Okay. All right. Good job. Okay, so this is what you're going to practice in your rooms.
You're new students, teacher.
No. Hi.
Oh, it's so cute.
You have to be 18 to be in my class, Chica. All right. Let me stop the recording for now. Okay. So, 4 questions. Okay. We're going to be, it's basically following the same rules, have or has, plus the participle. Okay. But you know, in English with questions, remember we reverse, okay, the order. So, your question, since we are asking about how long, right? We're asking about the time, past to present. So your question is going to start with how long? Have. Okay. And then it's going to be you, they, we, or I. excuse me. Plus your past participle. So same thing, the rule, have or has, plus past participle. The thing that makes it a question is the have goes first and the you goes second. So we're reversing the order to make it a question. Let me get the other form up here and then I'll give you examples for both. Okay, so for has, what do we use?
He, it.
He, she,
and it.
it. How long?
Exactly. Okay, so that's the difference is question and answer. You're just adding how long and you're reversing the have and has. All right, so let me give you examples of both of these. Okay, let's do this. How long have you been a student? And we're going to answer in present perfect. I
have long. I
have what?
have been. I
I
have
have been
been a student for 2 years.
2 years. Oh my
for
goodness.
8 months.
2 years, 8 months, whatever it is. Okay. There you go. Okay. So you can see we've got, it's just the order that really switches. All right. Okay. Oh, look, now it looks like 4th of July, red, white, and blue. Hey. Okay. All right. So this is how you do the question and answer. Okay. You're just reversing the order with the have or the has. All right. Let's try one with he and she. Very good.
Long plus.
Okay. So has, then our he, she, it, and then our past participle. All right. So how long has Rose worked at Target? Answer.
Rose
Okay.
has worked.
You can say Rose or she, either one's fine.
Rose.
Rose
Has worker
Has work
has
at
worked
Target
work
for
at Target
3 years.
for 3 years.
So you're using the same, like I said, same thing. Have or has plus past participle. The only thing that changes is the person goes in the middle for a question. And then back to the beginning for the answer. Same rule we follow with things like can. What can you do? And then I can, da 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 da. All right, so I will add this to the Canvas page. If you would like a picture now, I'll add this to the chat too. All right. So what I would like you to try, you can start again at the beginning. What I would like you to try doing is actually try to do a question and answer for these. Okay. Now, when it says I, let me bump this up a little bit. When the sentence is I, for the question, you can change it to you. Okay. So, for example, I have a headache. So, how are we going to make that a question? How long?
have you
Everybody come
had?
with me. How long
How
How
long?
long
have
have
you can change it to you. The answer is I, so you can do the question with you. So if I say how long
How long?
How long have you
have you
had it?
had
had a headache? How long have
Have
you
you had
had
headache?
a headache? Okay. I'm gonna try the answer. I
I
have
have
had
a
a
headache
headache
for today.
for 6 hours or whatever it is. Mhm.
Yeah.
2 days.
2 days. Ooh.
Teacher,
Yeah. Yeah.
when I use the day, for example, January 1st, 1991, for or since?
Since.
Since? Oh, yeah.
Yep. Because for is how much time and since is when did it start.
Okay.
So if you have a specific time like that, that's when it started. That's always going to be since.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Martita sent me too. Yeah.
All right, let's try. Just not without had. Too many hads. Let's try this one.
How
How
long?
long?
How long? She.
How long
Aye, really? Hold on. Let me bump this up. Bump this way up. Okay. Ah.
How long has
Okay, so she lives in California. How would we do the question?
How long has she
Ah.
lived?
How long
How long
has
has
Has she lived in California?
in
lived
California?
In
in
California.
California? There you go. There you go. Answer:
She
Ah.
has
she
have
has lived
Lived. She has
She has
lived
lived in
in
California
California
for 3 years.
for 3 years. Exactly. Yeah, from my experience, the most difficult thing is getting this order,
How long has she
because
lived?
an answer you say has lived, she has lived, but for a question, has she lived? So you have to tell yourself the person goes between the have and the lived, right? Because you get used to practicing have lived, has worked, has, but for a question, you have to separate it and put the person in the middle. And that's what I've seen over the years on getting that practice between question and answer, because your brain wants to put them together. Okay. All right. I'm going to copy these examples in your chat when you get back in your rooms. Just, you're not going to finish. We only have 20 minutes. Okay. Just try a few of these. Okay. Give it a try. Slowly. Okay. All right. We'll give it a second. Karen keeps losing her internet here. Hold on. Or she forgot to charge her phone. All right. Let me pause the recording. Okay. So, overview, basic explanation. The presentation we did today is all here. Okay. And I added the question examples, okay, that we just went over together. Okay. The practice I have on here now does not include questions. It's only the sentences, so you don't have to worry about those yet. There's a wonderful video on, let me try this again. This is from one of my favorite websites, Ellie. Okay. This will actually tell you about the difference between have you ever that we did last week and the present in past into present that we did today and this week. Okay. So nice video. This is actually a quiz on foreign sense. Okay, since there's always questions on that. Basically, it gives you a time. So September 14th, 2000. Would you say for September 14th or since September 14th?
Since.
Since. Right? So you just pick for or since for each question. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and submit and I'll know I only got one correct. Because I only answered one question. All right. Okay. And then this is pretty much exactly like your first practice that you did in your groups today. So I give you a present sentence and you change it to present perfect. If you don't know the participle, I did not give you participles on this one. So give it a try, but you also have this full verb list at the end of the last week's module. Okay. And remember, here is your past participle, the very last column here. These are all past participles. Okay, so if you don't know your participle, you can look at those. And that's it right now. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue with the whole question answer thing. Also probably on Wednesday, I have discussion questions that use the present perfect. So you can connect the grammar to you and your life. Okay, and that usually helps a little too with remembering and learning it. Okay. Let me hit the recording.